Today's project is going to be a automatic pet feeder. You can buy those ones on Amazon, but they serve little bitty portions and it's only like 7 days. So I was wrong. There are a lot of automatic feeders out there now as well. Just like the automatic chicken doors, the feeders have come a long ways. They do seem a little bit small. I couldn't find them in anything but 5 liter, it says. They don't make them in the same, by pounds. I think the one we have is like a 5 or a 10-pound gravity feeder. I ordered one because it was the same price as the chicken door. So I will do an update video on that once I test it out and see how big it is and all of that. It is always fun to just build your own project. Gives you something to do out in the garage. We do have a problem with a couple of stray cats that have been coming and eating our food. And then of course we have raccoons almost every night. So sometimes I forget to go and get the cat food off the table and then they come up every night. And if we're gone for the weekend or sometimes on a trip, we just put those gravity feed things out. The raccoons, I've seen them on our Ring camera, man, they'll sit there and just like for 30 minutes eating away. So, and that's every night. So just for one, to save money on food, I bought these chicken doors, but now there's all kinds of them on Amazon. I think this one was $40 or something. And you can just program it to time and day, manually, or dusk to dawn. So I think I'm gonna program mine for morning and night. So it's gonna open at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, actually it's about 7 o'clock that we normally feed them every week, and then it'll close right about dark. But I'll just leave it open during the day. That should help. I know the raccoons won't come around, so that's the main thing. A couple of extra cats, well, I'll just make sure this is full, and they may become number 4 and number 5. So got my cut list made here from a piece of plywood I have left over, and I'll get all these pieces cut out, and then we'll assemble one box basically. It's really all you gotta do is make a box, put your door on, and then cut your shape out for the open. Let me get everything cut out. Okay, put these here. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's a little sketchy. Might have to get the track saw out. Well, I got her done on the table saw, but I did it off camera. I didn't need all the safety police comments. Cutting a warped piece of plywood on a table saw is not a real fun thing, but I got it done. So here's my small box and my large box. I'm probably gonna have to work right here on this bench. I'm glad I made it. Had to quit yesterday after I got everything cut out. It was time for church. So I'm back today, had some pizza last night, and ready to go. So I'm just gonna use some staples, I think, for this one, and some glue. But before I start putting everything together, one thing I forgot to do when I was drawing it up, I just drew it up with the little, stick box figure, and forgot to account for the thickness of the wood because I was just doing it off of my measurements here. So I'm gonna have to modify it a bit. When I should have cut these at 11 instead of 10s. That way I could put my boards on the outside, or the front and the back should have been 11 because I've got a 10 for the base and then a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch, so that would have been 11 if I was going to do it this way and still give me an interior dimension of 10 by whatever. But it's okay. I did over measure a little bit, so this still has a good 1/2 inch or so on each front and back, so that's not going to matter. If I do the sides on top, then I can still, just use my 10-inch wide piece on the back, so I don't lose any space that way. And I got plenty of room over here. I've got a couple of inches because I needed to account for the screw holes and stuff. So it's gonna work out just fine. Just remember that in the future. If you draw it out that way, make sure you account for your thickness of the wood and the way you're gonna put the box together. But I'm gonna go and cut my opening while I have it off and not attached to the box. I think that'll make it easier to mount and get the hole cut out. So let me go get that cut and I'll be right back. Oh. Yeah, put a little glue on it. So I'm just gonna basically glue and staple this together now into a box. I've got all my pieces cut and everything's ready. The lid will be last. And that should be all I need. I probably better get me a piece of plastic underneath that. I don't know who I was watching one day, but he has a nice workbench and he just has a bunch of this, 5mm or 6mm plastic that you get in the roll at Home Depot and cut a piece off. And it's better than trying to find wax paper and cutting that out for the corners and stuff. So I've just eyeballed it. I put me a mark at half an inch, and got it as level as I think is good. And we're gonna drive it home. Yeah, I moved a little bit. Now for my door. Let's see how much space I got here if I just lay it up here. Gotta make sure I don't go too far forward so it doesn't hit that. And then they can eat, and then it will close in the evening. And then I don't have to be laying in bed and going, oh, I forgot to go get the cat food out. Because if you don't keep it out there all the time, the raccoons go somewhere else and they don't show up. When we get in the habit of it, it usually is when we're on a trip again and gone for a few days and the food's out there all night that they tend to come back, and then they start coming back every night. So this should deter that. And that will keep them away while we're gone, and because it won't be out there, be locked up, and they'll learn to, well, can't get to that, so I'm gonna go somewhere else. That's my plan. So I built these a little bit early so we can try them out and see what happens. I wanna put them into use for a while, make sure it's gonna work before we take off and leave again. And have to get that Rover, that, I don't know, it's a little app called Rover, and they have people that'll come out to your house and check your pets and stuff. So okay, I came up with a plan here. I cut me 2 9-inches for the large one and the small one. Got my Forstner bit here, and I have a bunch of these. They came off of a bunk bed or something. It's kind of like the IKEA furniture stuff. There's a semicircle hole. Well, actually, there's a hole these fit into, and then a little slot, and then your other piece of furniture puts up against it, and you put the screw in. But I have these little thumb screws, and I thought, oh, that would be a great way to close it. So I have this one left over too, and it's the same thing. It's a 10-inch strip, where I cut some of these bottom pieces off of that 78. So I'll just cut it down to the right size and then put it on there like that. And then I'll use a thumb screw and one of these blocks to lock it in place. So this will be I'll put this on this side so it's between the outside edge and the inside edge like that, you know, and then your thumb screw will be through the top and down. Should be about right. A little more. I want it sandwiched between this block and this outside piece. So it needs to be pretty flush. Yeah, there we go. Right up in my eye. I normally have my sunglasses, protector glasses on, but they're in the car. So make sure you have your directional facing the right way when you change it around. Okay, I got this piece. I think this is left over from making a bunch of those strips for the shelf, but I think this will work perfectly, and it'll give it a little bit of a, won't be so wide up here and have the same strength. Okay. All right, I'm gonna drill me a pilot hole in this, and then I'm just gonna use those same washers as a little spacer. Oh, my door just opened. I was like, what is that noise? I guess it's on a default timer or something since I had it on. I'll have to make sure I get that set right. So it's a 1/4 inch bolt, so I'm gonna go with a 5/16 inch hole. And that should let that cone kind of sit right down in there a little bit. And still give room for you to be off just a little bit and find your screw hole underneath there. Okay, we're going to test it. There we go, raccoon proof. A little bit more complicated than it should have been, but the next one will go together much easier now that I know exactly where my mistakes were. So our cat food is up on a table and the cats eat there, so I'm probably gonna do that, and I may even just run a couple screws into that table. It's just a in-table coffee table that's was really made for inside, but it's been outside, so it's not in great shape, so a couple screws ain't gonna hurt it. That way they can't knock this thing over, or the raccoons can't try to, you know, right now they probably could knock it over and do some stuff, and then the door may not stick anyway. So I'm probably gonna somehow mount it or strap it to the table so that it can't be tipped over and stuff. But otherwise, I think it's gonna work for what we need. You know, I'm gonna get this timer set and figured out, and then, like I always say, just get out there, do something. You know, it doesn't matter if it's in the shop or out fishing or camping or something, but just get outside. Sitting in the house is just boring all the time. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.